NFL draft question time. First one is from Michael. Get a picture. Draft Trevon Diggs to the Seahawks. So the Seahawks obviously need cornerback help, but at the same time, what I want you to do is go check out Tom Downey's latest mock draft. I think you're going to be pretty happy about it. The hardest thing with the Seahawks is they're so unpredictable at the draft. But do they need cornerback help? Yes. Yes. Did I tell you to get a picture already? I don't remember. Let's go to Mercedes Renz, who I think this is me in a coat holding a championship belt. Oh, it's Ric Flair. Woo! Okay, Raiders will clean up in the draft with my man Mayock. If you don't like it, learn to love it. Diamonds are forever, and so are the Raiders. I don't know if you want me to answer a question, but I will Ric Flair woo for as many super chats as you guys can bring in. And if somebody wants to smack me on the chest, that's going to be a $20 super chat. All right, let's go to King Higgins. What up, my man? Another Raiders fan. Is there any chance Jeudy, Lamb, and Ruggs all get drafted ahead of the Raiders? Well, do not go to Bucky Brooks' latest mock, because apparently, if they're all on the board, we're going to draft Jordan Love. Do I think that there's a chance? Sure. You see crazier things. My only thing is, I think there's going to be at least 3 quarterbacks drafted. And then you know Chase Young's going to go. I believe Isaiah Simmons, Jeffrey Okudah go. And then if Jeudy, Lamb, and Ruggs, the way that I think that happens is if Ruggs runs like a 4.24, which is possible. But I still think the Raiders will have one of those top wide receivers available at pick number 12. Let's go to Sim. Any teams trading up for Burrow? No. The amount it would cost would be ridiculous. The RG3 trade alone, go look at it. That was for pick number 2. Let's just say if you're like, I don't know, the Chargers and you want to trade up for a quarterback, or the Dolphins, I literally think it would take the Dolphins all 5 of their picks this draft, which are in the top 56, and then maybe still like another 2 first-round picks. That might be a stretch. Maybe another first-round pick. It would be a lot, though. That's all I'm saying. Let's go to Mark. What up, Mark? Do you see the Eagles trading back? So, I think the Eagles are in an interesting situation. They need wide receiver help. They need cornerback help. And if the wide receivers, which is very deep, slide like some of these other guys, like a Ruggs, I actually wouldn't be surprised if Ruggs starts to slide a little bit, if the Eagles maybe try to trade up to grab him. Now, if those top 3 guys are gone, you could see then the Eagles maybe trade back to get a wide receiver like, I don't know, Jefferson or Rager. He always makes fun of me. Okay, got it right. Do I think, though, they could trade back? The team that I think is the most likely to trade back in the first round is actually the San Francisco 49ers. Make sure that you guys are using draft like my man Jeff Rodgers to get your questions here on our show. If Ruggs breaks the 40 record, which is 4.22 by John Ross, and Jeudy and Lamb run slower than expected, is there any chance he leapfrogs either of them in the draft? I wouldn't say it would surprise me, because I think the only reason that John Ross was the number 1 wide receiver drafted that year is because he broke Chris Johnson's 40 record. I'll say this. I like Henry Ruggs a lot. He's a very talented wide receiver. But I think Jerry Jeudy is the safest. I personally want CeeDee Lamb. He's just a tough dude. I don't think he's going to be a DeAndre Hopkins, but he can be a lesser version of a DeAndre Hopkins in my opinion. I see a lot of comparisons for Ruggs to be Tyreek Hill. Nobody's Tyreek Hill. Nobody can move the way he does. I think best case for Ruggs is maybe a little bit better version of a Deshaun Jackson. That's what I think Ruggs can be. So if you guys love mock drafts, we are very famous on the internet, actually, for mock drafts. Tom breaks them down all the time. We got mocks with over 100,000 views on them. Go check them out. Also, we were the number 1 most watched NFL draft coverage on the internet last year. Did about 7 million views in a week stretch. When we were live for the draft, we had at one time 67,000 people watching at one time. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you're subscribed. Go check out our reaction to Mel Kiper's latest mock. If you guys want to see a Bears mock draft, we got a lot of them as well. Go check them out on our channels, youtube.com/chatsportstv. We got a new Bears channel. Go check that out as well. Trying to think of the link. What's the link? youtube.com/BearsNow. Real tough one to remember. Bears Now if you want that one. But we do a lot of mocks. We have a lot of fun here. Got over 600 people watching. If you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Helps us keep the lights on here. Let's go to my man Ante, or Dante. He's told me it's Dante, so it's Ante. Ante Petrish, the official. I'm bad with words. Will my Seattle Seahawks select Raekwon Davis, defensive tackle from Alabama, or Trey Adams, offensive tackle from Washington? Well, you can never have too many offensive tackles. I think the bigger need there for them, though, was probably Raekwon Davis. But I still think that they need to be able to go cornerback. But like I said before, the Seattle Seahawks are the hardest team to predict because you never know what they're going to do. Let's go to Dalton Smith. What up, my man? Should the Saints draft Jacob Eason or Jordan Love? If you're giving me the choice between those two, I'll say Jordan Love. However, I don't think either of them go to the Saints. And I think if you're the Saints, you don't draft either of those quarterbacks. I'm not a big fan of Eason, I'll be honest. I just don't really see it. I think Jordan Love is a fun player. I don't really have a good NFL comp for him. I've seen the Patrick Mahomes comparison. Nobody's Patrick Mahomes. I've seen the Colin Kaepernick comparison. I think that's a little bit of a lazy one. He's athletic. He's got a high upside, super athletic, but he is very inconsistent. If you go back and watch his 2018 tape, it's great. If you watch his 2019 tape, not so good. So I think it's a good question, though. Let's go to Brian Z. Get a picture. When can we expect the first tight end to go? It won't be in the first, I don't think. I don't think it's going to be in the first round either. I know Tom last year loved TJ Hawkinson. I know we've seen some tight ends fly off the board. Cole Kmet, Hunter Bryan. Well, I'm getting mid-second round. Mid-second round. Let's go to Jacob Williams. What up, my man? I'm trying to figure out what's on your face. Is that a weird thing to say? Because you look like you're 10. Could Justin Jefferson fall to 33 and do the Bengals pass on him if he does? Justin Jefferson could definitely fall to 33. I think if there is a position that does fall a little bit, it is wide receiver just because it is so deep. Now, I don't know if you guys know this. I love fantasy football. I play a lot. But if there's a position that's very deep, you wait on it because you can get depth there. I think that's what you're going to see here at wide receiver. You're going to see a lot of very talented wide receivers fall. Like, if this wasn't such a stacked class, you could see Justin Jefferson going much earlier in the first round. Do I think the Bengals pass on him? Sure. But you're also trying to build around your players, or trying to build around Joe Burrow. You also got to figure out what you're going to have in A.J. Green. Appreciate the question, though, Jacob. So how many wide receivers will be drafted in the first round? I want you to throw it in the comments section. How many wide receivers will be drafted in the first round? We'll give some shout-outs. DC says, when does the Combine start? The Combine actually started on the 24th. That's where Tom is at. And for the wide receivers, it starts, I believe, on the 27th. And it'll end on March 1st. The 40s are tomorrow night. And if you want to watch me drink a 40, go to my Instagram. Alexander says 3. Shanav 4. Rick says 4. The Hazel Dog says 8. I'll take the under. Troy Daniels says 0. I'll take the over. For me, I think it's going to be 5. I think it's going to be 5 wide receivers drafted in the first round. Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, they're locks. T. Higgins, I think, is another wide receiver. He might not have the best combine, but watch him play. He's a very talented player out of Clemson. That's number 4. Laviska Shenault is tough for me. His hamstring is apparently healthy, but he's also another guy who can absolutely light up the combine. Justin Jefferson is an interesting player to me. Rager, if he runs a really good 40 time. All potential wide receivers that could go in the first round. If you want to bet on how many wide receivers will go in the first round, or heck, who's going to run the fastest 40 time, BetDSI has a ton of NFL draft prop bets. So go put your money where your mouth is. Go see how smart you are about the NFL draft, but get some free money. That's what I'm trying to do here. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code NFL120. It gets you a 120% deposit bonus. It's also in the chat below. Let's go to Kyle Morris. What up, my man? Do you think Chase Young will be a major superstar? You better hope so, drafting him at 2. I do think Chase Young is going to be a very, very solid player. I think he's a very safe player. I mean, he had 16.5 sacks this past year at Ohio State, missed, 3 or 4 games. In today's NFL, you need to be able to find players that can get after the quarterback. Chase Young is going to be able to get after the quarterback. The only thing that gets in Chase Young's way, I think, is himself, if he gets into the wrong crowd or starts doing some dumb shit. But from a talent standpoint, if Chase Young stays motivated, yes, he's going to be a superstar. Let's go to Winston. Best picture yet. How do you know my dad's name? Who will win day 1 of the draft? Teams with 2 or more first-round picks don't count. Who will win the draft? Teams with 2 or more. I mean, to say that teams with 2 or more don't count, that's not fair. The Dolphins have 3. The Raiders have 2. Colts. If I had to say, then the team that wins the draft that doesn't have that... let's go with the Lions. Because the Lions right now have pick number 3. I think that the Lions could trade back. And if the Lions trade back, then they can get some more picks. So let's go with the Lions. You're creeping me out, though. Let's go to Kevin. What up, Kevin? Who are some under-the-radar prospects that could make a name for themselves at the Combine? Gandy Golden, interesting wide receiver out of Liberty. He's about 6'4". I'm curious to see what he does. Denzel Mims actually looked pretty good today doing the bench press. I think he got like 16 reps, which is very impressive for a wide receiver. I'm trying to think of some other names off the top of my head. Fortunately, I don't have my notes pulled up. So how about this? If there's extra under-the-radar prospects, I'm not the NFL draft guy here. I'll be honest. It's Tom. Go hit him up at What Going Downy. Let's go to Sean. Sean, if I say your name, apparently, you know what. Which receiver will the Eagles take with number 21? If Henry Ruggs is there, it's Ruggs. If T. Higgins is there, he's interesting. If I'm the Eagles, I think the most likely receivers to take at 21 are Henry Ruggs. I think it's T. Higgins, Laviska Shenault, maybe Rager, and then maybe Justin Jefferson. However, let's just have some fun, okay? Let's say all 3 of these wide receivers are on the board. Who would you go with? Okay, let's say all 3 of these wide receivers are on the board. If you just want to say out of these 3, who would you pick? Jerry Jeudy A, CeeDee Lamb type B, Henry Ruggs, I want you to type C. So Sean Buchanan says B, Wavy Shane A, Scottie H A, Scottie, does she know? Sean says B, CeeDee Lamb is my son, interesting. Rick is going to go with Henry Ruggs. I'll say 60% B, 30% A, and then 10% C. Look at that math. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Deal's also for you as easy as 1, 2, 3. All you got to do is click on this link, and you're going to get some sweet gear. Go to chatsports.com/NFL sale. Gear up to 50% off. If you need a new t-shirt, if you need a sweatshirt, a jersey, we got you covered. The link, it's in the chat. Also, I'll put it in the description there for you as well. So if you see something that you like, click on it. All the stuff is up to 50% off. It's not going to last forever. See it in the comments now? It says Chat Sports with a check mark, sweet gear for every NFL team, including hats, jerseys, shirts, hoodies, and more. You're welcome. Let's go to KD Bug 19. Get a picture. Patrick's. Oh my God. Whew. Packers trade up to get Jordan Love or Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts goes in the first round, I will lose my mind. Lose my mind. I mean, if you got to pick between those 2, I'll take Jordan Love. I've seen a lot of the rumors around the Packers maybe drafting a predecessor to Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, I can't spell that. I don't think it's going to be either of these quarterbacks personally, but I think if you had to pick one, I think it's hands down Jordan Love. Let's go to Scottie H. Do you think the Giants should trade down? I do. I do, in fact, think that they should trade down. They still have a lot of needs, and even though I love Isaiah Simmons, I think if they don't trade down at pick number 4, you take Isaiah Simmons. But with the amount of teams that could be looking for a quarterback, you can get a lot of extra picks, and I think it actually be pretty smart for the Giants to do that. Let's go to Scott. Are you guys twins? I can't tell. Get pictures. Which pick would be a safe but efficient pick for the Vikings in round 1? Well, you're going to need secondary help, right? Because you're going to probably lose Mackenzie Alexander. You're definitely going to lose Anthony Harris. You're going to lose Trey Waynes. You're not going to have a lot of money. I believe they're dead last in terms of cap space at $12 million. So you're going to have to go into the draft. Trevon Diggs, Alabama could be an interesting player. I don't know if C.J. Henderson will still be available. I've seen Christian Fulton slide in some. Who? Bryce Hall. I've seen some guys fall. I think you got to go secondary because their secondary is going to look a lot different. Let's go to Grand Rock. Who is Mr. Irrelevant going to be? Oh, man. I can't even give you an answer on that. I don't know who Mr. Irrelevant is going to be. Ask Tom at What Going Downy. Tom knows every single player. Heck, during the NFL draft, we literally play a game where if Tom hasn't heard of him, Tom drinks. That's how crazy it gets. We're also live for like 25 straight hours, so we get a little crazy. Maybe, you know what? I'm Mr. Irrelevant for not knowing. Now, if I missed any of your questions, I'm sorry. There was a lot that came in. And if I missed them, hit me with that hashtag draft so I know what you're talking about. Slide in my DMs. Give me a follow because after the show here, I'll go in there. I'll answer them. It's at Mitchell Renz 365.